Okay. Versatile Vigilante, Young Vince, Uncle Vinny, back with a second episode of 2025. I put one out around May just to kind of update whoever might be interested about my travels, my journey from Toronto to Arizona. And I was pretty honest about it. I don't really know what the path is going to look like for Versatile Vigilante for releasing stuff, but you know me, man. I like to talk my shit. So we got a solo episode, and first one in this location. This is actually where I live. Not gonna give a tour or anything like that, but figured, fuck, man, why not? Got a crib out here. Let's do a little episode. Why not? And it's raining outside. Very rare rain in the desert, so no outside episode today. Enough of that, though. Enough of the preamble. What I want to talk about today, basically about for the 4th of July, which is, coming up on 2 months ago, which is crazy, very crazy. Time has been absolutely flying, approaching fourth quarter, really. Insane. But anyway, I was in San Diego. I drove from Phoenix to San Diego for the 4th of July, and hell of a time, man. First time in San Diego. I fuck with California. I've been to California a few times, never San Diego. Despite all the bullshit, politics, everything, price of everything, it is a fireplace, man. I'm not the first person to say that. I won't be the last. I love California, man, and San Diego might have been my favorite city in California, and maybe one of my favorite cities I've ever been to, which says a lot. I've been to some cool places, but San Diego, cool as fuck, man. And this is where I got this little tapestry, this hippie peace sign tapestry when I was in San Diego. I loved my hippie shit, and when you're in San Diego, you really feel like you're back in the fucking 60s or something, man. They got Grateful Dead paraphernalia still and old hippies running around, on the beach, just super chilling. So really a fan of that. I'm not going to lie to you. And I had a great time. Um, Met some cool people as you do on your travels, but that's not what I wanted to talk about. What I wanted to actually talk about was I was getting breakfast in just a little diner just down the street. I was staying in Ocean Beach. If anyone's ever been to Ocean Beach, super fire. But I was having some breakfast, chilling, and a guy leaves, older, maybe in his 60s, I would say, and he leaves, and he said the waitress says thank you, and he says thank you. Stay safe, stay independent. And I don't know. I was just sitting there, and this is now like 2 months ago, and I have been thinking of that fucking quote every day since he said it. I don't know, something about it just really hit me. And what I think I love about it is it really summarizes, in my opinion, like a good life. Few years ago now, this was 2021, at the end of 2021, I was in Vancouver, and I was at a point in my life where maybe I didn't know what the fuck to do, and it was still COVID shit. It was a complicated time, but I remember one time I was thinking about it, and it's like, man, first things first, I want to live a good long life. It's we I think that, you know what, this was after young Dolph passed away, actually, and I was really sad about that, and it had me thinking about shit, and a lot of it, what I was thinking about was, man, I want to live a long life. I have references in my life. I'm lucky enough to have grown up with my grandparents around, and they made it into their 80s, and they lived long, full lives, and I want to do that. We glorify the guys that kind of go out really young, and God bless Lil Peep, Young Dolph, and millions of other young people that have passed away, friends, family, so many, man. And for me, it's one of those things of like, no, I don't want that. I want to live a long life, and to do that, you have to take care of yourself. You have to be safe. We glorify crashing out. We glorify bad behavior, conflict, all this bullshit that really affects your peace. When in the meanwhile, if you do your best to stay safe, put yourself in situations that don't increase too much of all the odds of getting fucked up, and that's tough because you want to live, and I'm a huge example of that, where I run around, I do a lot of shit that probably a lot of people wouldn't. But you got to stay safe, man. You got to stay safe out there. It's a crazy, crazy world. And, we're kind of all crazy. So that's the first part of the statement. I don't know, staying safe. It's so fucking simple. We've been taught that forever, but we don't really do it, man. We put ourselves in harm's way when, oftentimes we don't need to. And I don't mean curling up in a ball and living in a fucking bubble. I mean doing bullshit stuff. And we've all done it and we all continue to do it, including myself. And just got to remember, stay safe, man. Shit happens. You can't control everything. There's a plan out there for you 100%, but try your best to stay safe. But the real part of that fucking quote, he said, stay safe, stay independent, man. And that's one thing I really, really love. And, Toronto is a very independent city, and I think it's always been its own world. But the United States independence, it kind of, to me, goes hand in hand. And people are very serious about that here. Of course, you got open carry, all that other shit, not going in any politics. But independence for me is one of maybe the most important fucking characteristics, or whatever you want to call it, I could think of. Since I was a kid, man, I wanted to do my own thing, want to march at the beat of my own drum. And to do that means you sometimes have to stand on your own. And in modern society, I'm not even talking about 2025, I'm talking, fuck, man, probably hundreds, thousands of years, but definitely, especially now, independence is almost, sometimes you feel like it's going extinct, man. Like every building is being bought by corporations or companies, whatever the fuck. Music artists, people, traditional outlaws like artists and musicians and people of that nature, even athletes to an extent. Seems like today it's all about the brand, it's all about the deal, it's all about the selling bullshit stuff, selling yourself to corporations. Like, someone like The Rock, for example. Shout out to The Rock. I'm calling you out though. Yo, this guy is not independent at all. He's a fucking billionaire. He's very successful in that way. But this guy's owned by everything, and he's an owner and shit too. But it's like, bro, you got 15,000 fucking brands tattooed all over your body, bro. Like, for me, that's just not the way. And when that guy said stay safe, stay independent, I just thought it was a good trigger for me to remember, nah, bro, I'm a one of one. And to just be branded to, or just want to be part of a clique, or just be accepted by whoever the fuck that, man. I felt that way as a kid, and I'm about to turn 30 and I still fucking feel that way. So, man, independence, it's confidence, it's confidence in yourself to stand on your own and take a chance. And I'm, sometimes I feel like a hypocrite on that, because with my one part of my life, Versatile Vigilante, and the excursions that I've, done and put together and been a part of, it's all about independence, man. I never signed a fucking deal in my life. But during the day, I work for a big ass corporation where, fuck, sometimes it does feel like they own you. And the problem with that is you get some good shit for it too. You get well compensated, you got all these benefits and perks and all that shit. And it makes you, kind of feel like, oh, maybe independence is not all that it's cracked up to be. And fuck that, man. Fuck that. To just be relying on someone else to put essentially food on your table. I don't know, bro. It never sits right with me, and I've been trying to leave that world, and I will one fucking day. I promise anyone that watches this or anyone that knows me, I will do it. Got to put the plans into place, take advantage of the situation that I'm in. But man, that independence, it's to me, it's just one of the most important things you could ever have as a human being, because you can be a fucking billionaire and you're now at the shareholders' hands, or you're slave to the almighty dollar, whatever it is. To me, real independence does not have to do with your financial wealth. Financial freedom is a beautiful thing, and that does go hand in hand, but there's a limit, you don't need it. You don't need all of it. You don't need all of it. And that's one thing I've really learned over the last couple of years. And that's my hippie shit. You don't need a fucking the most of everything. You don't need the biggest of everything. And not every goddamn dollar has to be squeezed out of everything. And I was actually talking to my mom the other day, and she was talking about how she volunteers at the church, and she said that the people at the church were brainstorming like, oh, let's sell t-shirts, let's do this. And the priest kind of was like, why do we always have to sell some shit? Why can't let's throw an event or something like that, bring community together? And I thought that was some cool shit, because just selling yourself, whether it's fucking physically or you're just selling your brand for every fucking cent that you can get, no matter what, how corny that might look, just getting every last dime, every last dollar. I think you sacrifice so much of yourself and your true independence, because now you're owned, kind of glorify like, oh, I want to sign this, get a fucking music record deal or a podcast deal or this or that. Cool, man, I get it. And listen, if someone put some bread up for me right now, it would be hard to turn that down. But you also give away a lot of yourself, and I think we're always just searching for that next big lick. And I'm like, fuck, man, is that super necessary? Like, isn't being independent sometimes better than just being locked into some contract or some bullshit, big ass mortgage? I don't know, man. Gets me thinking, because all of these things I've mentioned, I've been a part of: mortgages, contracts, all this fucking shit. Been a part of all that. Yo, the more locked in you get to that shit, the less of yourself that you fucking own. Like, yo, if a company wants to cut you loose, you're gone, man. You tie your wagon to them, whatever that quote is. Yo, you put yourself at risk, man. Whereas, if you can learn to put some food on your own table, and use your God-given skills, and I literally don't mean hunting and killing animals and shit. I mean, you know, doing something that is true to you, and you support yourself, and you don't have a million people just breathing down your fucking neck every day. To me, that is real independence. That's real freedom. And that's what I'm trying to achieve. That's why with Versatile Vigilante, I'm not making an excuse. I know my numbers never have been anything crazy, but I never fucking paid for any ad on this shit. I never took any brand type deals or any bullshit like that. Never took any payment for anything, any guest, nothing. I cut the fucking those checks, man. Talk my shit. But the reason for that was I never wanted to sacrifice a part of the brand. Whether you love it or you hate it, this is my shit. This is everything that I ever put out is from my creation, yo. So whether you like it or you hate it, that's completely up to you. But independent always, always, always. And for me, that's always brought some really nice peace of mind, because if I don't want to do it, I don't fucking have to do it. Whereas in my day job, it's not like that, bro. I'm compensated and I'm expected to do this job. Whatever bullshit comes up, fuck it, I'm paying you. So I've kind of experienced both worlds, and I don't know, man. You definitely got to make money and support yourself and live a good life financially, but I don't know, man. Just going your whole life at someone under someone else. Shout out to Dame Dash. I know he's got a lot of heat over the years, but he had that legendary Breakfast Club interview about essentially being your own boss, and I fuck with that, man. I really do, and I think the shit that I put out more appeals to the types of people that want to stand on their own 2 feet, because being a follower honestly is easier. Being a follower, hey man, you're part of the team. You hope for the best and hope boss man takes care of you. But being a real leader, that shit's uncomfortable, but that's where most of that growth comes from, man. When the shit is hitting the fan and you got to be the one to steer that ship, yo, you can't pay for that type of experience, man. That's some real shit. So, I think standing out, it's always been cool, and I think it always will be because yo, that's that real freedom. That's that real independence, that true confidence. Put yourself to the test. I don't know, man. That's my thoughts. That was a ramble. Listen, if you are a fan of Versatile Vigilante, or a fan of myself, or you want to tap in from time to time, there's gonna be some bullshit, but there's also gonna be some real shit said. I'll always stand by that. Anyone that doesn't like that, I'm not signed to any fucking contract, so I could put out whatever I want. Real independent shit, man. But that's all I want to say. I want to say stay safe. I want to say stay independent. Shout out to everybody. Fourth quarter coming up. Let's rock and roll, man. Free Max Big Avell.